We are getting closer to Friday. Some more clarity on who might be playing for both of these teams. Bears, Eagles, loaded show for you coming up. Jahns at Halas. We're all kind of remote today in our own places, but we are ready to go with whiteboard, and we're going to look ahead to who could possibly win the NFC North. It all starts right now. CHGO Bears.
Nine hours away till the Bears get to take on the Super Bowl defending champion Eagles. We got a left tackle battle, perhaps emerging. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, proudly presented by our friends at Bet365. It is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, use the code CHGO365, and get yourself $150 in bonus bets when you deposit $10. Make a bet for $5. Look at the line changes here. This is a super exciting look at what we're looking at here on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Hoge is in studio in the city. Jahns is at Halas Hall. Braggs is in the region. Carman is in Carmland. The Bears are still in Chicago, but about to take off for Philly. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Great to see everybody.
I have failed Adam Hoge once again. Last week,
you didn't put the X's and Hoges in the tweet, did you?
Every week. Last week, I remembered.
Jahns, the disrespect for this segment. They always put it in the D block. They never put it in the tweet. I was actually thinking about this last night as my wife was waiting to watch a movie with me, and I'm still working on the whiteboard, trying to 2 hours worth of work, putting in this little thing that's 5 minutes that Greg gives zero respect to in the tweet. It's a rough life.
And not only that, they renamed the segment on you. They rebranded it.
That what we got is approval on somewhat.
Yeah, we were struggling for the name for a while. So eventually we got X's and Hoges, which I thought was pretty clever. And new tip, I'm going to tease this. I got a tip from Bears Fan of the Year, Jonathan Otten, and that makes an appearance in the X's and Hoges today.
Wow.
Well, I'll explain it probably outside of the segment a little bit later on, but it'll make sense later. But that's why he's Bears Fan of the Year.
That's right.
Well, X's and Hoges is coming up. If you want to mark it on your podcast calendar, it'll be on in about 41 minutes from now. We got Path to the Playoffs brought to you by Greg Braggs. Is coming up, and we'll call that 15 minutes. And we got Jahns now from Halas. And the news of the day, I suppose, is what would you guys have a nickname for Vic Fangio? Because to me, he's kind of like a Yoda type character. Like he's just the guru, whatever you want to call him. What did Ben call him yesterday?
Ben called him the Godfather today, which is what I've always said. He's like the Godfather of defense.
Well, his former players in 2018 used to call him that as well. Obviously, there's the Italian connection there, but yeah, Godfather is the nickname that Ben Johnson used today. Halas Hall, and I think that's the one that's going to stick.
I mean, that's what he is. The guy's been unbelievable. Of course, everybody remembers him in Chicago and the 2018 defense, and just the straightforwardness of a Vic Fangio. So why don't we bring in a little sound from today? Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick in terms of the symmetry of so many things of this week, whether it's Thanksgiving, which Ben Johnson was asked about last year's Thanksgiving versus this year's and how far we've come here in Chicago. But also when you look at Vic Fangio in 2018, you mentioned, Jahns, at this time in 2018, the Bears were getting ready to face the Rams at home in a big matchup. And that was the moment that Vic Fangio kind of put on full display everything he was all about. So much so that you had other teams taking what they did against the Rams to win a Super Bowl. And so I think now looking at Friday's game, this is kind of Ben Johnson's kind of moment, the way Vic Fangio had his moment against the Rams. It's somewhat could be a cornerstone moment for Ben Johnson versus the Eagles on Friday, potentially.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you were saying that. This is Ben Johnson's statement game. This is Caleb Williams' statement game that things are working for him under Ben Johnson, that despite all of the success the Eagles defense is having, despite all their players coming back healthy and then becoming even better, more scary as a unit, that Ben Johnson has answers to whatever Vic Fangio wants to do, whatever he wants to disguise post-snap, whatever he's trying to cloud in the mind of Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson is able to provide the right answers to his quarterback in this matchup.
So let's hear from Ben on Vic as we continue the conversation. We're going to get some left tackle talk in or two, but this was Ben giving some major respect to Vic.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the godfather in a lot of ways. I mean, he's kind of taken the league over in terms of that scheme. It's been to a number of teams. You see all of his disciples run it now. We already faced one in New Orleans this year. You know, Carolina. I mean, it's all over the place. The Rams are running it to a degree, and so he's influenced the game significantly. And yeah, it's the shell defense. They want to limit the explosives. And I think when you have the horses up front like he does, to where they can stop the run game while playing too high, I think it's a powerful combination. And so, no, he does a phenomenal job with it. I never worked with Vic, but a lot of respect from afar, obviously, and then just the people that have worked with him speak so highly of how he calls a game, and he's usually a step ahead of the opposing play caller. So it'll be a challenge here just to make sure that we're trying to keep him as off balance as we possibly can. And it really starts up front. This is a really good front 7 guys, and we got to take it to them there and play on their side of the line of scrimmage.
He's not smiling there like he smiles when he's talking about beating Matt LaFleur. There's a different tone to that thing. Shell defense got the power up front. It does make you at least a little bit nervous about what the Bears are going to be able to do against the Eagles. Am I missing something here?
Well, Vic Fangio has like this impressive track record against rookie quarterbacks. And I know Caleb isn't a rookie, but this is still his first year in Ben Johnson's offense. This is the first time Ben Johnson is going against Vic Fangio as a play caller, play caller versus play caller. So there's a lot for Ben Johnson to figure out over the next couple of days, especially on a short week where your days are condensed and you're trying to get so much in. So Hoge and I talked about this in our show earlier today, the X's and O's, the tactical side of this, Fangio versus Johnson. It's going to be fun to watch because it's not the Flores attack where they try to confuse you pre-snap with everything, with a variety of different looks. It's everything post-snap. The Eagles are so good at this. The 2018 Bears were so good at this, disguising what they really are in, what they're really trying to do to you, after the ball is snapped, when things are flying around, where the play is happening. That's where Vic Fangio's defenses excel.
Yeah, and we're going to really find out how dialed in this offense is right now, because another thing Ben sort of hinted at, if you were listening closely, and this is a pretty big staple of his offense and why it's so advanced and why it's so successful against a variety of different defenses, is because they literally have routes, guys, that change post snap based on the coverage. So that's on the wide receiver. So let's just, for example, corners playing off like a lot. Well, okay, let's turn that into a hitch, right? Just a short hitch, turn around in the open zone, catch it. Or if they're pressing you, well, then maybe now you're running across the middle, right? But all of that is an option to you pre-snap based on what coverage you're about to get. Well, if your receivers are changing those routes after the snap, the quarterback has to be on the same page, right? So for every single play, you have to know the variety of routes that are built in based on the coverage. So it's not just, if you're Caleb, it's not just, I got to identify the coverage, but then you got to process what route your receiver might be running differently. I think that's why at times, guys, even with Rome Odunze and their chemistry, we have seen them not always be on the same page sometimes. And I think it's because of that element of the offense. But when you're facing a defense as advanced and as complex and as good as Vic Fangio's, this is why Ben Johnson's still able to have success. It's just a question of, are the Bears dialed in yet enough offensively to have that type of success? I think it's a good thing they're playing the Eagles in November than had they played them back in September.
It makes you wonder, or at least gets me excited about maybe the Bears offense will show they've come this far, because if you do well against the Eagles, that'd be a hell of a statement. Do well against Vic. We'll see.
Yeah, I just think, and I've said this before, but just to underline, I mean, the Eagles have only lost 3 games on the year, obviously blowing the 21-point lead to the Cowboys. But the one game I really look at as somewhat of a template of what the Bears might need to look at here is how the Giants beat the Eagles earlier this season. And obviously they're a different team than they were then, but you lose 34-17, and Jackson Dart, has 13 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. And so the last couple weeks, Caleb Williams, after that huge performance in the fourth quarter with his legs with Caleb Williams against the Giants, I think this is a game where Caleb Williams is going to have to get creative on his own. And maybe even we saw a designed run or two from Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams. I think they're going to have to utilize Caleb in this game to try to get the Eagles out of what they're trying to do.
That's a great point, Braggs. And that kind of reminds me of this quote from, Vic Fangio in the past, because this has always stuck with me. He once described Patrick Mahomes as athletically arrogant. That's how he described how Patrick Mahomes plays. And it was the ultimate compliment. It's because it's the play after the play. When you think you have him bottled up, when you think you have the perfect play call for what the actual play call is, it's Patrick Mahomes' ability to break, contain, and be a special player in the most inopportune moments against you. And he's able to beat you. Like Caleb Williams has some of that in him. That athletic arrogance where he could beat you in so many different ways when the play call is wrong. Is that Pat Norton sneaking in behind me here?
It is. He looks amazing.
Come on, I'm making a great point.
I never thought Carm could be top for creepiest moment in CHGO Bears history, but I think Patrick might have just gotten it there.
Yes. That was creepy because he was like a slow approach. I could see for a while somebody was behind him, but I didn't know who it was. And then all of a sudden it was Pat.
Well, I noticed, because we can see people walking up the stairs behind you, but it almost looks like a ski lodge.
So there is, if you look closely, there you go, Braggs. See that? That is the giant Mike Ditka bobblehead.
Bobblehead, yeah. That was a fun year. That was 2018 when they were giving the bobbleheads away every home game. It was awesome.
The bathrooms. Hold on, if I get you. There's I think that's the 1963 championship trophy right there.
OB, what's up, buddy? I see you.
Carm knows those bathrooms very well. Carm, wait till you get to Halas today.
Yeah.
Pat has some. He's decorated his cubicle. Good. It's as festive as I've ever seen a Halas Hall cubicle.
I got to tell you, Pat does a very good job with the Altoids. I've been stealing his mints for a couple of weeks now, and I really thank him for it. Yeah, they're excellent. All right, let's get Ben one more from Ben here, and let's hear him talk about Ozzy Trapilo and the immense progress that he's made from the start of the season till now, and obviously what he did last week, and what this, we'll speculate coming back here on what it means going forward with him and Theo Benedet.
Is Theo as healthy as he was starting like that?
We will see.
With Ozzy, did he show enough to prompt you to at least to take a look at it?
Ozzy did a great job last week. Yeah, he did a great job last week, and he was a big reason why we were able to win that game.
Ben, how do you account for that? He was obviously uncomfortable during the summer trying to get settled on the left side. He guys moved him over to the right, and then gets the development through the course of the months. He plays pretty well on the left side. What did you see there?
Yeah, I don't know what it was over probably like the last 4 weeks or so, but it's almost like things have slowed down for him, and I feel it around the building, not even on the practice field as much. I feel it in the building with him where there's a little less, stepping on eggshells, and it's like he's coming out of his shell a little bit, and he, he's not a rookie anymore as far as I'm concerned. It kind of feels that way just being around him personality-wise, and when that opens up, I think your play, you just kind of cut it loose and you play ball. And so I felt that from him, and I don't know why that is the case or anything like that, but he's been, I'm not saying a different guy, but it's like, okay, he knows he belongs. He knows he belongs. I think he's got confidence, and it doesn't really matter right side or left side. I think he knows he can be a very productive player at this level.
So I had heard that, just in training camp that he did not have it down, and it just, I think it's very normal for a rookie to come in who's being asked to play a different position, coming into the NFL, the whole thing, to not feel comfortable, to be getting his bearings. And it seems like in a pretty short period of time, he's done that. Now, what does that mean going forward here? Because Theo hasn't been perfect, but he's been physical out there. He's been very good in the run game. So where do you think we're at?
If you would have asked me this morning, I would have been surprised if Ozzy Trapilo was in the conversation to start if Theo Benedet was healthy. I don't know if Theo has done, he hasn't been the best. He hasn't been perfect, but I don't know if Theo struggled enough to lose his starting spot. But then you hear Ben Johnson talk about Ozzy Trapilo today, and I'm like, I think this door might be more open than we think it is. Or at least I thought it was heading into today. So I don't know, guys. Hearing him describe Ozzy Trapilo in that fashion, it seems to me that this conversation is at least happening right now during practice, maybe later tomorrow on Thanksgiving, that this could be Ozzy Trapilo's spot right now at left tackle.
I would start Ozzy. I think that he played better yesterday than Theo has in any game, or on Sunday than Theo has in any game this season. Theo's been fine, but he hasn't been perfect. And Ozzy was almost perfect. He almost pitched a shutout in that game. He allowed one pressure. He's the guy that you drafted in the second round to ideally become your left tackle, because they knew Darnell Wright was their right tackle when they made that decision. He's coming along. You know that you have a healthy Theo Benedet that you can trust then behind him if he needs to go in there. This is a good situation to have. This is as good as I felt about the left tackle situation all season, guys. I would start Ozzy on Friday in Philadelphia.
Well, we have a super chat here that kind of echoes how I feel, and I'm kind of on the same board with you, from Isaac Man 23, great number, saying, I think that Ben is in his press conference made it pretty clear that Ozzy is going to start at left tackle, which I think fits better anyway, since he's better at pass protection. That also allows him to shift. TB, help me out here, guys. Theo Benedet, thank you, to the 6 O-line spot for runs. And that's kind of where it is, right? Theo Benedet, arguably is a better run blocker, and Theo is a better pass blocker. And what is Ben trying to do to win games? Yes, they are, their running ability has been their identity, but they're looking for explosives, and it can be hard to do that at times when Theo's letting guys get around on the backside. So, and I also think that they kind of have a built-in reasoning to let Ozzy go another week, right? Theo's hurt. It's not like he lost his job by a performance. He lost his job at this point because of injury. And so you could say we're going to give Theo another week potentially, and then, give a look to Ozzy here and see how it goes.
Well, Theo did practice in full yesterday, so in theory he's ready.
It was a walkthrough, but to your point, I understand.
That's how, right, fair, but that is how they're listing him, which I think Theo Benedet is now regretting his decision, wishing that he obviously could have stayed on the field, because he may have lost his job. That is how it works. Hoge, I see you itching for something over there.
Just itching to know what else Jahns has for us from Halas before we let him go.
Okay.
Well, I think the big story tomorrow is what the Bears have planned for Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson. I expect them to practice. I expect the injury report to be positive. But are they ready? Are they ready for a full game of action against the Philadelphia Eagles? And if you're listening to Ben Johnson today, I would say maybe not. I don't know if the team is ready for that. They've had this safer than sorry approach, since earlier in the year when you saw TJ Edwards and Jalen Johnson, return and then suffer injuries. They've had this long-term focus with their injured players, their injured key starters for later in the season. It wouldn't surprise me if Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, maybe they're on a pitch count in this game and maybe it's full go next week against the Packers, or maybe they're held out this week and then it's full go against the Packers next week. But the positive developments here at Halas Hall continue for 2 key players in the secondary.
All right. I think we're all betting that we're going to see him on Friday, right? No one's backing off of that one.
When we come back, let's play that clip from Ben today, because I thought there was maybe a small tell in there.
Okay. Let's do that. Yes, as Jahns leaves us, we're putting up the reminder, become a diehard, $36. Use the code JAHNS. Get yourself the free t-shirt, get yourself all the content, and get yourself the ability to jump in right now and get huge discounts on our Black Friday. There it is. Save up to 90%. We appreciate you. Shirts, hats, they're not on there, but there's some pint glasses that I love. Good stuff on there, up to 90% off. Early access for the diehards only. Get yourself in with the code JAHNS $36. We appreciate you. Johnsy, travel safe. Happy Thanksgiving. And I'm fired up that I got some popcorn on the way, supporting your little guy on the baseball field. 3 bags.
Boy. Appreciate you, Carm.
Braggs, you can eat it all. I bought it for you. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
Jenny's the popcorn queen in the house.
I'm kidding. It ain't leaving this home.
Jenny will eat the popcorn the amount Benny the Bull has at the Bulls games in one sitting.
I got to get rid of that segment. All right, John. See you, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving, boys.
See. Ton to do. A special brag segment. We'll play Ben coming back on Jalen too. But first,
want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Sunnyside Dispensary. They are here to elevate your football season as we are winding into a playoff push, and you're going to be stressed out, right? You need a little Sunnyside to cool it off, man, make you feel a little better as all this stress football watching. They are your judgment-free shopping home. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. They are extremely convenient, and wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign, and then, of course, they got one right down the street from Wrigley Field. So if you're in Wrigleyville, right down the street from the marquee, you can hit up a Sunnyside Dispensary. So enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. For returning customers, use the code CHGO50. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 or older or Illinois medical card holders.
And with the Bet365 early payout offered, you are a winner when the Bears go up 17-0 against the Eagles on Friday. That would be something. You would have been a winner, though, when the Eagles went up 21-0 on the Cowboys on Sunday, and then the Cowboys came all the way back. That's the great thing about Bet365. You get an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners if any of the teams you bet on go up 17 in a football game. Download the app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. And on Thursday night football, you're always going to get a $10 safety net bet. Sunday night football, $365,000 jackpot. Monday Night Football, you got a 50% super profit boost. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet 5, win or lose. Sign up, use code CHGO365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5. You'll get $150 in bonus bets. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, in-app only.
I mean, that was one of my better, stronger Bet365 performances right there. While Greg was just not appreciating the effort I was giving. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We appreciate you guys all year long, all season long, all day long here at the CHGO Bears Podcast with Hoge shaking his head at me. Man, there's so much to be thankful for, and I'm thankful for the two of you, and Jahns, and Steven, and Jake, and The Shuffle on HBO, which we might get to at the end of the show today. That thing was freaking amazing if you haven't seen it. Yeah, it's true. I cried. Okay, I won't cry though now, Hoge. Let's get what Ben had to say about Kyler and Jalen a little coming back here, and how much can they actually be on the field? Will they be on pitch count? So Ben, giving you a little hint of what's to come.
Yeah. I mean, I go back to the moment we started practicing them. It was with the big picture in mind of how do we acclimate them, make sure that we're putting them in a good spot. So throughout the course of the weeks of practice, we've been able to slowly increase the rep count there. And then, we'll be very mindful of that when we do get them up and going in a game. Just we don't want to throw them into the wolves or put them in a bad spot. So, that's all been talked about, and we have a plan for it.
Well, What does that mean, Hoge?
And there was a moment that he was like, whenever we get him back on the field. And I just thought it was a moment where he could have slipped up and talked about it a little bit more, like it was in the immediate. And instead it was, whenever that is. I still think it's got to be part of the equation with how cautious that they've been to know that you have an extra couple days of preparation and rest after playing on Friday. It's almost like this is the Bears mini bye. It's a rare year where you don't actually have to play on Thursday at any point. So they don't have the Sunday to Thursday thing. They get a little extra day here to Friday, but they still have that back end. They get an extra couple days before they prepare for the Packers. So you could make that argument that by not forcing it Friday, you feel way more comfortable about the long-term sustained health by giving them that extra time. And I don't know. I keep going back and forth on this, guys. You'll see it later in the whiteboard segment. I wrote them both on the board thinking that they might play, and now I'm not so sure. So Ben's doing a great job as head coach right here, keeping everybody guessing.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, you get that extra rest, whether it's TJ Edwards, Noah Sewell. You have a lot of different. It's not just Jalen and Kyler that they're looking at, and did the Steelers win by them extra time? Is that part of the equation here? If they had lost the Steelers game, and when you look at the playoff picture that we're going to be looking at here in a little bit, does that add into the equation that, hey, we've got a little room to work with, and these guys earlier in the year were brought back off injuries and re-injured themselves, and we lost them for the majority of this season. So now you have an opportunity here in a house money game where you have nothing to lose, and you have an opportunity. I mean, what was it? Brandon Graham, right? That was saying that you brought that up yesterday, Hoge, that, this team has really playing like they're nothing to lose. So with that kind of mindset, can you go into this game here and say, all right, we're going to let the chips fall where they may, but we're going to give these guys that are ailing, a little extra time, and then we're going to push all our chips in against Green Bay, which is certainly going to be a big game.
I'll go out on a limb here and make a prediction. I think Jalen plays and Kyler doesn't on Friday. That's my guess. Obviously, just a guess. I don't know anything, but I do know. Well, I know a little bit. I know that Jalen's looked really good in practice, like very, very sticky, very, very good.
Yeah, and he came back earlier than Kyler, and I don't know. We'll see what the injury report here is in a little bit, but I think he'll actually be out before we're even done with this show. I don't think it doesn't feel like Tyreek Stevenson's playing this week.
That too.
So your need on the outside is a little bit greater than on the inside because if Kyler doesn't go, you have CJ Gardner-Johnson, who you want to be out there on the field in some capacity anyway. So that allows you to do a pitch count. It also allows you to buy another week, which I think is on the table.
But if you have too many players that are out there, if you have Kyler and Jalen both active but on a pitch count, now you have to take from your 53-man roster of guys that would contribute in other ways, whether it's special teams or otherwise, for players that may not be on the field the majority of the game. So you have to think about that as a coaching staff of, is the juice worth the squeeze, and how much is that going to affect my other units?
So 100%. The other thing that I'm trying to do on the show, which I haven't been able to pin you guys down on, so I'm going to try to do it again. It's the playoffs. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's playing well. Who are your starting cornerbacks? Is it Jalen Johnson and Deshaun Wright? And then who are your backups? Is it Tyreek and Kyler? Who's your starting nickel? Is it CJ? Who's your backup nickel? Is it Kyler? Is Kyler your starting nickel and CJ's the backup? How do you slot that, assuming that everyone's healthy come playoff time?
Let's just say they were all healthy this week.
Sure.
You saw a lot of formations with three safeties here in this last game. So I think that you're going to see, Dennis Allen utilizing that because they want Deshaun Wright on the field. They want CJ Gardner-Johnson on the field. They're going to want Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson on the field. So they're going to come up with formations to make sure all those guys are on the field.
Yeah, I would say Jalen is obviously your corner that's on the field the entire time. Kyler is my starting nickel. He's still better when healthy than CJ Gardner-Johnson, but you find other ways to get CJ on the field to feed off that energy. And use those dime packages, whatever it is, get him in there, in the box, wherever he can help you. And then on the outside, I think that's the toughest question is what you do with Tyreek Stevenson and Deshaun Wright. But I brought this up the other day. Remember, they used to rotate Terrell Smith in there with Tyreek Stevenson. So I think that's something you can do based on game flow, based on if you think they're going to run the ball more on this drive versus pass the ball more. Maybe it's even by a down. thing, with the way that Nashawn Wright's been defending the deep part of the field and getting these interceptions. I want him out there with his length on passing downs. So, we think about that more in terms of defensive line rotations, but I don't see any reason why you can't do that in a cornerback rotation. You just got to stay on top of it. So I think it's a great problem to have, and that's probably how I would handle it.
Yeah, and it's a great point on the length on the deep ball. But the thing about Nashawn, and I'm not trying to bury Tyreek here at all, but Ben underlined it. The dude's been good in the run. Last week he was stepping up and filling gaps well. And he's for somebody who weighs 180 pounds or whatever it is. He ain't a big dude. I mean, he's tall, but he's thin, rail thin.
And we'll have to see on the Eagles side of things. Does Devontae Smith play? There was some indication from some reporting that I saw from the Eagles and the Athletic that they didn't spot Devontae Smith at practice. He was a DNP yesterday designation, so that would certainly be a big miss. Obviously, Andrew Makuba's out. Reed Blankenship, will he play? So there's some different people that they have to look at on the other side of the coin. I will also say, as we wrap this segment up, I do have my friend Joey. He probably isn't watching, but I'll share it with you guys. He thinks I have inside knowledge. So I just keep texting him every hour and ruling a different player out on the team. And I'm going to lead this all the way to the game on Friday. And then I'm going to rule Ben Johnson out to him privately for personal reasons. So I'm just kind of ruining his week right now. It's kind of fun. Every hour I just add a new player to the out list. So I have my own injury report going with my good friend Joey. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you for sharing that, Greg. That meant a lot to all of us to learn what you're doing behind the scenes with Joey, your friend.
I love it.
I see.
I'm having a lot of fun with this.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right, this up next is another Greg segment here, which we have appropriately named Path to the Playoffs. We're going to look at the Bears' path. We're going to look at the Lions' path. We're going to look at the Packers' path. Lots of paths, lots of playoff teams, tight NFC. But first,
hey, from handcrafted steaks to delicious fall favorites, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. Show us those meats, Steven.
the
Franks, the beef, the jumbo beef Franks. I have some of those in my freezer right now, too.
Can we see a steak, please, and not that, even though those look delicious, but,
Is that a pork chop?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that's
yeah.
Oh, is that bacon wrapped?
It's bacon wrapped. It is.
Oh, that's my
favorite.
favorite
Right there.
That is my favorite. Look, Omaha's got everything. USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites like chicken wings, smash burgers, and big deli-style Franks, like you just saw there from Steven. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code BEARS at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code BEARS at checkout. See site for details.
That's right. These are all great holiday gifts as the Christmas season is approaching us. And another, sponsor you got to hit up for us that is right up your guys' alley for a great gift is Brunt Workwear. Their boots are second to none. We've got some in the studio. I'm getting a pair here real soon. Cannot wait to get them. They are perfect for shoveling. They're perfect for any job site. If you're working them construction yards, hit up Brunt Workwear. Shovel, like I said, shovel and snow or even tailgating because they are weatherproof boots. And that's my favorite thing about Brunt Workwear. So with the temps dropping and holiday season coming up, treat yourself to the real comfort with Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code CHGO at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com and use code CHGO. Order today and let them know you heard it from us.
All right.
Why do you always every break you've got to you take a nap?
I got up and I stretched and I walked around. I adjusted my pants. I did all kinds of things. But when the shot came back to us, I was looking at my camera.
Well, so what happened was because I'll just reenact it. I was sitting back like this right about here.
Yeah, we saw that part. You don't have to. We saw that. Yeah.
Well, I was looking at Braggs's graphic here that we're about to show, and I was going through it in my head and just I was deeply studying for this segment. So I do apologize for the optics here, but I really was on my game actually.
Just always moving around during every ad break, whether during the ad break or after it. You're just always up to something.
It's called just incredible flow, energy.
And I don't want to hear any crap about my story about Joey. Nobody wastes more time in this show than you, Carm. And it's funny that Joey is falling for every bit that I'm throwing at him right now. Anyway, I'm taking control of this now. This is my show. And I got to give a shout out here.
I for one, hold on. I'm sorry. I for one am stunned that your defense is somehow something that somebody else did to you at one point in time that you held in your back pocket to.
That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm allowed to have 3 seconds of wasted time.
I love your segment.
Your stupid Carmonica. Shut up.
I thought it was great.
I'm running this now. I'm running it. Shut up. I want to give a shout out to Nerding on NFL because he brought this to our attention because I heard you guys talking about.
Shout out to who?
Nerding on NFL. He's a great account to follow for scheduling stuff. Like when the schedule comes out earlier, in the springtime, we all get excited. He's always on top of this stuff.
He broke the flex. He broke the flex of the Packers, right?
Yeah, he does a lot of that. He's always in on the scheduling, whether it's this TV schedule and stuff. You'd like it. He's got a lot of graphs. Hoge, you'd love this guy. All right, huge nerd. But I got to give him a shout out because he posted the graphic of how the schedule lays out. I heard you guys on Monday talking about the Bears' chances of making the playoffs, and I just think as Bears fans, we get so hyper focused on who they're playing the final 6 games of the season that we don't kind of scope out and see exactly the road for the Packers and Lions. And so I think when you look at that and then you add that into the equation of what the Bears have in front of them, I have not really crossed the threshold of trying to get my hopes up about the playoffs, but I have to admit when you look at this and see how this lays out for the Packers and Lions, it does become very intriguing and, dare I say, more than realistic that the Bears will make the playoffs this year. And that, for me, excites me as a fan. So, yeah, go ahead and pull that up, Steven. Go ahead.
First of all, before we keep this segment
Clark, for the love of God, stop tapping.
Jesus.
See what I'm saying?
You got a lot going on over here. I'm sorry. My bad. No more taps.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Taps. No more talk. In fact, you can go to Halas Hall if you want. All right. So we've got just looking at this over, if you're listening on the audio platforms, it basically shows the Bears, Lions, and Packers last 6 games all lined up of the season. And so we're going to kind of walk through this as an exercise because I think it also leads to the discussion of who do we want as Bears fans or who do the Bears want as a team to win tomorrow on Thanksgiving as the Packers and Lions face off at 11 a.m. Central Time. And so I do think this is kind of interesting. And I'll kind of throw it to you guys. I have my thoughts on it, but and I'll start with you, Hoge. When you look at the schedule and how it lays out for the Lions and Packers, where do you see this going?
I think I think we got to go through it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the sunglasses. I don't really know what this
Take
guy's doing.
See your future, be your future. Look at the schedules and dissect. Let's hear your dissection. I'm with you, Greggy. I got you. Don't worry. I'm not.
Well, I do.
Even I think
Well, you're 4 minutes in doing your best. All right. So I think the Bears have the easiest game, a home game against the Browns.
Great.
It's easier. Am I missing any other?
Yes, I think so.
The Vikings for the Lions and Packers, I think, is the other ones you could make the argument for.
But those are on the road. They're still divisional games. The Vikings defense is good. Their quarterback situation. I agree. I mean, it is nice.
I think the Steelers will get absolutely walloped by the Lions in Detroit, but you're right that the Browns game in theory is easier, but the separation between those two teams at that point in the season, Detroit's probably at least a 7-point favorite in that game.
I think the Packers have the hardest schedule at Lions versus Bears, at Broncos versus at Bears versus Ravens. And then a road game at the Vikings. I mean, they got to have the hardest of the three schedules remaining. I would say probably the Bears have the second hardest, because at least the Lions get the Cowboys at home. Obviously, going to LA, that's going to be a great preview of maybe, NFC Championship level. Are the Rams really the favorite right now? Can the Lions bounce back? But then they got to end at Vikings at Bears, so they're on the road in those last two games. At least the Vikings is an indoor game for them, but to finish in Chicago outside, I think is a legitimate factor that kind of brings let's just call it the line a little bit closer, I would think.
Yeah, I agree. So, Steven, if you pull that back up, I'll kind of throw, because I'll do my best to not go crazy with the 9 million thoughts I have on this. But you're right. The Lions have the Cowboys and the Steelers at home. Both those are certainly tricky matchups. Those aren't walkover teams by any means. The Eagles just found that out. And if the Steelers have Aaron Rodgers going to Detroit, he certainly has a history with Hail Marys in Detroit, so you can't really write that game off. I think us as Bears fans, when you look at the Vikings, we got to stop picking on J.J. McCarthy here going forward. I know we're all rooting for his downfall, but be nice if he could, find a way to scratch some wins out at the end of the season, at least against.
I'm not rooting for anything. I'm just telling you he sucks right now.
Yeah, I agree. And rooting's not right. I agree with that. He does suck right now, but let's hope he can put out a good effort against either of those teams. The Vikings beat the Lions in Detroit with J.J. McCarthy. So you never say never with Kevin O'Connell. And so go ahead, Carman.
No, I just want to make it a little more just super basic. I'd like to get your take on what do you think Detroit's record will be at the end of the year? How many games are they winning? Go put it back up, Steven. Because to me, I think they win 5 of their. I got them winning 5 of 6. I got them beating Green Bay. I got them beating Dallas. I got them losing to the Rams. I got them beating the Steelers. I got them beating the Vikings. I got them beating the Bears. Or 4-2. So I see them winning 11 or 12. Does anybody dispute any of that?
Yeah, I'm leaning where you're leaning. I have a tougher time betting against the Lions losing the amount of games they need to. And so in that regard, that's what leans me to rooting, or rooting isn't the right word. Preferring the Lions to win tomorrow. And that then really puts the Packers behind the 8 ball for the rest of their 5-game schedule and makes that Bears game for them at home a must win in a huge way. Their season would be on the line against Chicago if they lose to the Lions here tomorrow.
Right. And Steven, put it up one more time. Because for me, when you look at Green Bay.
Wait, can I respond to the Lions first?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
I got them going 4-2 the rest of the way, finishing 11-6, which is what I had them winning the division with at the start of the season. I still think that's the path they're on.
Okay, so fair enough. And then Green Bay lose to Detroit, split with the Bears, lose to the Broncos, and then split the last 2 Ravens Vikings, right? So I see them at 10. 10 wins for the Packers, 11 wins for the Bears, 10 or 11. And 11 or 12 for Detroit. That's to me, that's how it shakes out.
All right, go back with the graphic, Steven, real quick. I personally would have them losing to the Lions, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Ravens, and then the Bears need to split with them. And in that regard,
that's 4 losses.
That's 4 losses. That's really what you're rooting. Yeah, that's what you're rooting for as a Bears fan. But I also think, to your point about the Browns game, when you talk about must wins, I also think that because this game, in my opinion, is house money, that Browns game is kind of perfectly placed, because in a worst case scenario, that if the Bears lose their next 2 road games, they have, like, now all of a sudden that week becomes the biggest week in 6 years here in Chicago. And lo and behold, they get arguably the easiest team on their entire season schedule at home. So, like, that's an opportunity for them to get right. I know the Browns have a tough defense. It's not going to be a walkover by any means, but I expect the Bears to win that game.
Well, Myles Garrett might be the best player they're facing all season. I'm including Max Crosby in that. The guy's been insane right now. I actually don't like where that is in the schedule. I hate that it's sandwiched between two Packers games. I feel like that's if there is a human element to this, that's the one spot where you could be overlooking an opponent a little bit, but this isn't college football. This is the NFL. Ben Johnson's got these guys seemingly zeroed in every single week. I look at this guys like look, the Bears are the one team that has 8 wins right now. They control their own destiny. To me, splitting with the Packers isn't good enough. Beat them in both games. I realize that this week in particular, I've become the guy of the higher expectations here, but you were a blocked field goal away from sweeping the Packers last year, and you were not a good team, and you had awful coaching. And I just think the Bears are a better team than the Packers. I do. They have not impressed me at any point this season. They've had some good wins along the way. They've had some bad losses, plenty of those. And I just think that a splitting should be the minimum expectation. But I don't see why they can't win both of those games. And if you do that, then regardless of what happens in Philly Friday, if you win against the Packers, the Browns, and the Packers again, you're really sitting pretty, going into those last couple games.
Well, look, it's a good exercise, but a lot of these games are just coin flip games, and anything can happen. And even if there's a slight edge in them, saying like more than 4 points in the spread, it still anything feels like it could happen. And it's a good underline by Beauchamp. If you're looking at everything, like let's look at the Niners. They got 8 wins. The Bears could very well be in a wild card competition. The Niners go to Cleveland. They are home with Tennessee. That's a gimme. They go to Indy, tough game. Play the Bears after that, and then they got to play the Seahawks, which Seattle could be playing for seeding at that point. Those, there's a lot of tough games on San Francisco's schedule. So, we were all on Monday night. We were all rooting for Carolina to win the football game, and I think we were at least, and that didn't happen. San Francisco got it done, and that game could be absolutely enormous, and it's on the road for the Bears. So,
yeah.
But the beauty of all this is that all these games are going to matter. The Bears are playing. They're playing for a playoff. Right now, they're playing for seeding this week, which is crazy at the top of the. And then if it could just turn in they're playing for their playoff lives, which is also a great experience.
Good exercise. We got to take another timeout. We'll come back. We got X's and Hogs next, but first.
Hey, shout out to our friends at the Chicago Sports Network. That's right. The Blackhawks and Bulls, the seasons are happening. You can visit chsn.com/podcast. Sign up for your 7-day free trial for their all access plan, which gives you over 300 live games per year. Every bucket, every goal from your mobile device, from your television, wherever you want to watch. You got it with what they're giving you at CHSN, your home for the Blackhawks and Bulls all season long. Chicago Sports Network, your home stream advantage. CHSN also available on Xfinity, DirecTV Stream, and Fubo. Visit chsn.com for more details.
And if you want to feel organized and confident in your finances, use Monarch. That's what I use. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or on your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year with code CHGO at monarch.com. Why do you have that much cash, Carm?
I'm old. I like cash.
Okay. If
Monarch Money told me to keep some cash available. That's why.
It's smart. Maybe you want to know how much your wife's spending at Target every month, or maybe you're Jenny and you want to know how much Greg's spending playing golf in the month of November.
Haven't golfed in a month. She couldn't be happier.
See, the Monarch would show you that. You'd be like, wait, you are way under budget this month for your golf. Funnel it towards April when the weather gets nice again, and then you can be like, Jenny, look, I have all this leftover money from last year. That's what that's why Monarch is awesome. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code CHGO at monarch.com in your browser. You're going to get half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with that code. You know it, CHGO.
All right, time now for the world famous segment that's been sweeping the nation. The amount of emails that we've gotten for more X's and Hogs has been too much for us to completely digest, but we appreciate it. Hogue, do you want to preview this one at all?
But that's the point of the segment, isn't it? We're previewing the game. We're previewing the Bears and the Eagles. So there's your preview to the preview.
Let's do it, baby. X's and Hogs.
Happy Thanksgiving. We got a big one coming up on Friday. Prime Video, 2 p.m. kickoff, Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears. Eagles coming off their really bad loss to the Cowboys, which they blew a 21-0 lead, lost 24-21 in Dallas on Sunday. They are 8-3. They have the same record as Chicago Bears. Of course, Nick Sirianni is their head coach. Kevin Patullo, the OC, under a lot of pressure right now, a lot of heat right now with the struggling offense. Vic Fangio, we know him really well, doing a phenomenal job. That is our marquee matchup this week, Vic Fangio versus Ben Johnson. Michael Clay is their special teams coordinator. Take a look at the EPA per play matchup this week. You see right here, this is where it's fun. Bears offense, 9th in EPA per play right now. Eagles defense, 6th. So 2 really good units going up against each other on that side of the ball. Meanwhile, on the other side, more middle of the road. Eagles offense only 14th. Bears defense still hanging around at 18th. Of course, still giving up yards, but getting those takeaways, getting it done when it matters. See how that all plays out on Friday. All right, this is it. This is Ben Johnson versus Vic Fangio. It's going to be a lot of fun. Couple questions we got to figure out. First of all, for the Bears, who is the left tackle? Ozzy Trapilo played really, really well last week. 2nd-round pick. Of course, he was struggling, though, back in training camp at left tackle. Theo Benedet has more reps at this point. He was full go on the injury report yesterday. So, man, I'd be tempted to play Ozzy. I feel like it's still going to be Theo, though, so I left him on there. That's a big question going into this. Now, when it comes to this Eagles defense, which is really, really good, you always got to know where Jalen Carter is. This guy right here, number 98. And another guy you got to be aware of, 17. Nakobe Dean has been playing really, really well since getting back off a pup. And he can cover the middle of the field and make things a problem for Caleb Williams. All these things we know about Vic Fangio, the way he mixes coverages. They are still susceptible, I can say that, to 12 personnel. They struggle when there are 2 tight ends on the field, which obviously Ben Johnson's been doing a lot with Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland, sometimes 13 personnel with Durham Smythe out there as well. I would look for a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of usage of the tight ends in this game from the Bears to take advantage of one of the few weaknesses that the Eagles do have defensively. They are also struggling against play action, which Caleb Williams has started to do really, really well. Under center a ton, getting a lot of good looks out of play action. A lot of open guys, obviously, that Ben Johnson keeps scheming up. Caleb's accuracy will be huge in this game to see if he can take advantage of some of these dagger concepts. When we say dagger concepts, we're really talking about, like, if you look at Luther Burden here, running some type of clear out post, and then Rome Odunze or DJ Moore, depending on what they do, underneath to the middle of the field. We've been seeing this all season with guys being open there. Now, this is where it's one of the strengths for the Eagles defense. Middle of the field EPA, defensively, they're the best in the league at defending the middle of the field, where the Bears have been taking advantage of. So that sort of back and forth, what Ben Johnson can create with this play action, out of 12 personnel where the Eagles have been weak versus covering the middle of the field will be big. Now, big injury, their safety, Andrew Makuba, is out with an ankle. Sidney Brown here, number 21, is a guy to watch because he can be exploited in coverage. And I wonder what Vic Fangio is going to do. Cooper DeJean usually stays on the field even in base downs as the nickel. He'll kick out outside, and it's usually actually Jackson who comes off the field. I wonder if DeJean plays more safety this week with their safety injury. Blankenship's also dealing with a thigh. He might not be 100%. So this middle of the field battle, I think, will be huge when it comes to Ben Johnson versus Vic Fangio. One of the best matchups this week. Cannot wait to watch that play out. Now, on the other side of the ball, the Eagles offense versus the Bears defense. Eagles offense right now without Lane Johnson. It's Fred Johnson playing right tackle for them. Saquon Barkley dealing with a groin, was limited in practice. He just hasn't been the same guy this season. Jalen Hurts hasn't been the same guy. This offense hasn't been the same. That sort of across the board, everybody's been a tick worse for this Eagles offense as they try to figure things out. It's been a storyline, and sometimes it's about when you play a team, not who you're playing. And maybe this is the right time as the Bears get some reinforcements back. Jalen Johnson back on the board. I think he's going to play. Kyler Gordon. And if Kyler Gordon does play, then what are you doing with C.J. Gardner-Johnson? I put both of them here because the reality is you're probably going to not keep these guys coming back from injury on the field 100% of the time. Tyreek Stevenson also dealing with an injury, so I took him off. Another good opportunity to keep Deshaun Wright on the field. I think the key in this game for the Bears defensively is early downs. Stay out of those tush-push situations. The Eagles have struggled on early downs, so if you can dominate on first down, maybe you stay out of those third and shorts where you can't really defend the Eagles. Something's off with this Eagles offense. I'm just telling you, the Bears defense with as good as DeMarco Jackson, number 48, played last week, makes me feel a little bit better about the linebackers right now and being able to stay in this game against the Bears. Bears-Eagles, this spread right here, -7. It's too much. Bears should be able to compete in this game on Black Friday. Can't wait.
All right, phenomenal stuff as always by Hoge. Gregory, your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, I like that the Eagles are trying to trick us with the Fred Johnson instead of Lane Johnson. You're not going to fool me. But I think that you know, it's going to be interesting because the Bears are going to want to run the ball, just like they wanted to run the ball against the Steelers. But ultimately, yesterday when we, you know, had an opportunity to discuss this a little more at length, you know, I just think that I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball. While you can look at some of the Eagles' run metrics and say they're not a great run defense, I think they've been playing much better against the run here lately. And so that's why I keep going back to Caleb Williams having to do things on his own. And with some secondary guys out, I think they might be more susceptible in the pass than they are the run, and that might surprise some people.
Right. Well, I thought you underlined some great stuff here, Hoge. And I mean, that I honestly think was your best X's and Hoges that you've done so far. And it was song worthy, which we didn't play for you, but you deserved it. The Saquon stuff
still is only D block worthy.
Well, we had a lot to do today. We had Jahns, and we had Braggs' schedule, and we had my brilliance. There was a lot going on here today. So look, the Saquon part of this. Last week, 10 carries, 22 yards. That ain't the Saquon Barkley that scares you. That ain't the Saquon Barkley that we're used to. 2.2 yards per carry against Dallas. Not exactly the best run defense in the league either. You have to go back to October 26th, the last time he was over 100 yards. He put up 150 against the Giants. He's gone over 100 yards one time all season long. It was that game, which also included a 65-yard run in that game. So, you know, the numbers got skewed. That, you know, that's a huge weapon that is just not the same. And then you brought up Nakobe Dean, one of their outstanding linebackers, you know, DNs, whatever, however you want to. Bottom line, he's getting to the quarterback. 3 sacks apiece in the last 3 games. So 17 is somebody that Bears fans are going to be seeing come Friday afternoon. And then what I didn't know, which is where X and Hoes goes next level, best in the league EPA in the middle of the field where the Bears have started to thrive. That scares me.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, yeah, they've been doing that, but I think Nakobe Dean, who's playing stack linebacker now, but can be, you know, blitz, and you just got to know where he is. You got to account for him because he can do a whole lot of different things. But him coming back healthy, I think, has been a huge boost for that defense. I do want to pay off a tease from earlier in the show, though. There's one person on the planet, literally on the planet, that might have recognized the adjustment that I made during X's and Hoges this week. And that's because that one person was the one that encouraged me to make the adjustment. But Jonathan Otten is the Bears fan of the year, and he is nominee for NFL fan of the year. Personally, I think he should win NFL fan of the year just for the contributions he has made now to X's and Hoges, because at the tailgate on Sunday, he said, look, Hoge, I used to get yelled at in the Navy for putting the markers, when I'm storing the markers, tip up, because gravity pulls the ink or whatever we're calling it in a dry erase marker to the bottom. So you got to go tip down in the storage bin. The markers will last longer, which explains why right now I do not have my thick black marker, because it dried out on me and I didn't understand it. It was only like a month old. Why is this thing already got to go in the garbage? And that's the contribution Jonathan Otten makes to this show. Tips down with the markers. Rest of the season, I don't care if it makes it harder to look at what color I'm pulling out of there when we're doing the segment and filming it. You're my guy, Jonathan.
See, that's naval level brilliance right there.
It is.
Efficiency, not playing around here, Rags.
And you know what I did this morning? I'm not even making this up. I ordered a $100. Shout out to Monarch for putting that in the budget. A $100 Navy hooded sweatshirt ahead of Army Navy in a couple weeks, because the sweatshirts, I don't know if you guys have seen this, and the uniforms, what Navy's rocking this year, it's phenomenal. But because to honor Jonathan Otten, the fan of the year, I got a Navy sweatshirt on the way. I'll wear it on the show when it arrives.
And eventually we have to pressure ALLCITY to let us go to an Army Navy game and do some coverage, even though we're super busy covering the Chicago Bears at the exact same time. We'll make it work. We want to go. It'd be a lot of fun. Hey, become a diehard and whatnot as we reach the top of the hour here on CHGO Bears, and hit that like button while you're hanging out. We appreciate all of you.
Injury report.
Yeah, as we move into overtime, the injury report is out. Let's pop it on the screen here, Steven. And there it is. Okay. TJ Edwards, Ruben Hippolyte, Luke Newman. How did he get hurt? Dominic Robinson, Noah Sewell, Tyreek Stevenson, all not practicing today. Javon Dexter limited with a hand. Full go. Theo Benedet with the quad. Kyler Gordon with the calf. Travis Homer with the hamstring and the knee. Jalen Johnson with the groin. Designated to return from injured reserve. And Kyle Monungai the knee. So they haven't activated Jalen yet, but he's still in his designation. So I probably didn't need to read that, but that's the list right now. He is practicing in full. Thoughts?
Yeah, I believe that's the same as it was yesterday. So I'm looking at that like it's another DeMarco Jackson, Amen Agbangbamiga game. And that's scary in some ways. I've officially put my prediction in. It is already aired on Hoge and Jahns. I'm full disclosure, I made that prediction thinking Jalen Johnson at least would return. I'm now kind of feeling a little bit more nervous after hearing Ben Johnson talk about that today. So I don't know, a lot of unknowns.
What's the prediction? You picked the Bears?
That's crazy. I have actually picked the Bears to win every week this season, which is crazy. The only one I regret is the Lions week 2 game, but I got a little tricked by how the Lions played the Packers in week 1, and I maybe let my heartstrings get to me. But the rest of the season, I keep saying it, I think is just the fact that I've felt confident enough to pick them every week is just such a different contrast than what we've done here in the 4 years we've covered the Bears here at CHGO Sports, where so much so in the first year when the Bears were fighting for that number 1 pick, I wanted them to lose games down the stretch more than I wanted them to win. And so it's just such a breath of fresh air to expect them to win week to week. I will be shocked if they win on Friday. Eagles got a lot of things going on. I do agree that this is maybe the best time to play them. If you're going to play an 8-3 defending champion in their house, it's on a short week. They don't seem to be getting along. They've had some injuries here pop up here the last couple weeks of some key players. And so I think there's an opportunity here for the Bears for sure. And while, again, you're playing with house money, you kind of go in there with a more looser mentality instead of, playing nervous because your season's on the line. I think there's an opportunity to play with a little bit of confidence. That being said, I think you're crazy for picking the Bears. I don't think that is going to happen on Friday. I know Saquon's not had the year he had last year as they ran all the way for a Super Bowl. I expect Saquon to have a get-right game against a hurt Bears defense. And if the Bears win this game, you can mark this team down as a team of destiny because it'll completely shock me if they go to Lincoln Financial Field and win this game.
Do you think they cover? 6.5.
Yeah, it's a big number. I guess. I'm not a big spread guy, but I guess you could say no. You know what? No, I don't think they'll cover. How's that sound?
Wow.
Boo. What a hater.
Not a
But
hater.
it's still, but it's still house money, right? We're not moving off the house money.
No, it is house money. To me, this is a win-win. Like last week was a lose-lose for the Bears. If they lost to the Steelers, everyone clowns them for losing to a backup. If they beat the Steelers, everyone's just saying it's only because they played Mason Rudolph. It's flipped this week. If they win, they are the gods of the universe. They're the talk of the town. They're the hottest team in football. It's a statement game for Ben Johnson and everything else with this organization. If you lose, as you know, expected in Philly, then you're going to spend 9 days of this, everyone saying this team is not for real. And Ben Johnson will have them ready against Green Bay with a lot of players coming back, I'd assume, for that Green Bay game. So I think either way you play it, however you go into Green Bay, I like kind of how this is going to lead going forward.
In the primetime window a week from Sunday, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. A couple things we want to tell you on the way out here. Number one, the Black Friday sale is continuing. Today it's for the diehards only. That's the final day, diehards only. So get involved. 90% off on some of our merch, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, all the good stuff. The website to go to, store.allcitynetwork.com, 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 and get yourself a nice solid discount on the Black Friday sale. Also, Friday, in the spirit of giving, we will be doing the watch along for you. So, which we've been doing on road games in the latter half of the season here. So we'll be with you all afternoon long on Friday. Our pregame show starts at 1:00. Live watch along 2 to 5, and the postgame show after, and then of course brick by brick. So it's going to be a lengthy Friday. Yes, Hoge.
Yes, and the watch along is where we will remind Greg constantly throughout the game as he gets upset that this is a house money game and you pick them to not even cover, and so you shouldn't be upset. That'll be my.
Well, that's a totally different conversation. If they find themselves in a ball game, yeah. If they find themselves in a ball game, I'm gonna get upset.
Well, what happens if they go down 14-0 in the first quarter? Will you just sit calm and not scream?
No, I'll just no, I'll probably scream.
Yeah. Okay. You're allowed. Your pick is your pick, but in the moment is the moment. It's a totally different thing. I got your back on this one. So you do you. Before we go, if anybody saw the Shuffle on HBO that came out last night, which is what Hoge?
You didn't make your pick. Are you going to share your pick? Or are you now thinking about how I picked the Bears, and so now you don't want to let me get ahead in the standings, and you need to give it more time?
We don't make our picks.
We don't do Friday shows. Today's a Friday. It's a Wednesday, show. Friday.
Today's a Friday show.
I have the pregame.
Make your pick, you coward.
No. You have to send it to Pat immediately, so you might as well share it on the show.
Make your pick, you coward.
I love Greg, and I love Hoge, and I love Steven, and I love Pat. Let me put my glasses on. Let me look in the future.
Oh, God. Does he have to watch X's and Hogs again?
That was a great segment. I liked it. Shut it. I was so dialed in. It was frightening. Busting out all sorts of stuff. I'll take the Eagles 27, the Bears 17.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we also had I put a poll up earlier of who you would want to start as a Bears fan, Theo Benedet or Ozzy Trapilo. 73% of Bears fans on Bears Twitter say Ozzy Trapilo.
That's so soft. Y'all, it's great that Hoge went there and said start Ozzy, and he looked at the tape and all that. One dude looks like he'd kill your grandmother, and the other guy looks like he's like the nicest, sweetest guy. Give me the guy that looks insane. I want the insane looking dude. Start Benedet. That dude looks mean. Ozzy looks too nice. Give me mean guy. I want mean guy.
And you can't get that analysis anywhere but here.
That's right.
Screw what the film says. I want the mean looking guy.
Yes. That dude rammed a goon against the wall in Cincinnati.
Were you loving Ozzy because he interviewed outside his house when he got drafted.
Listen, what did he do for his house?
Remember he like interviewed on the porch, and
I think that was Luke Newman.
That was Luke.
Oh, that was
Newman,
Luke
who looked like he
Newman.
hadn't showered
in the forest. Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
forest.
Yeah.
Ozzy's a sweetheart.
Quit stalling. Make your pick.
I already. Are
He
you
did.
here?
He
I
did.
did.
He
27-17. All right. Okay.
Eagles, right?
Oh yeah, and you wanted to talk about the shuffle.
Yes, I do, because Hoge's gonna leave on the shuffle. Okay. You can leave too, Greg. It's fine. I know you're mad at me. Everybody go. I will tell all the real Bears fans out there that the shuffle on HBO is absolutely phenomenal. And I'll even admit, because those two are gone, that when they showed Walter Payton behind the scenes with Jim McMahon, the way they ended up getting that part done of the music video, and you're seeing Walter and stuff that I hadn't seen, I got emotional. I felt it. It was, as we all do, right? You miss Walter and the joy that he brought to the world, the joy that he brought to football, the joy he brought to the Bears, and seeing him there, it brought something out of me that I wasn't expecting. It's a phenomenal documentary. And I know that everyone's knows a whole lot about the 85 Bears and all of it. But even if you weren't alive at that time, it is worth a free trial at bare minimum on HBO Max to watch the shuffle. And the guy that put it together, excuse me, I don't want to get anyone's names wrong because I took notes on that this morning. Hold on.
Holding.
I'm really upset at myself right now. Hold on. Dick Meyer. Dick Meyer was the guy that came up with it. This dude, he made his at least a ton of his money by starting a fragrance company. And he turned into Jovan Musk, which apparently all dudes were putting that stuff on when they were getting the action going on back in the day. And then he decided he was going to retire and do music. And he had an idea that we could do a line dance and a rap and put the Bears together to the Super Bowl shuffle. This dude's my hero. He literally, you got to see it, but he's trying to get them to loosen up. And here's this big 6'7" dude in the background just doing the, come on, guys, let's do this. Let's get it going. And the Super Bowl shuffle was the greatest thing that's ever happened in the history of sports in a music variety. I don't care how bored you are, Hoge. If you don't like, if you watch that doc,
I'm not bored. I'm gonna watch it.
Are you? By when?
Instead of watching that last night, I watched the weirdest movie of all time with my wife called Baby Girl. If it's up Carm's alley for sure. Greg, don't
sounds
watch
amazing.
it.
Baby Girl.
Yeah, and then that's fine. And and another movie recommendation, if you want to be depressed for 3 days straight, watch Train Dreams, whatever it was. And that's the best endorsement I can give that movie. Mario Tirabassi is the only other person here in studio today because the Hawks play tonight. Shout out to Hawks. I'll be there. Hawks Wild. He just gave me this box that we have a delivery. It's for the Bears team. It's from Ray Bruno. So I just opened it. And there's a bunch of books in here, but this one's specifically addressed to Carm.
Wait, you hold it up centered so I can read it. Lower. Built-in silence. 365 days of wisdom, discipline, and growth. Thank you. I would read that.
It says, Built-in Silence delivers 365 days of honest reflections, one for every morning and night, designed to sharpen your discipline, strengthen your habits, silence your excuses, Carm. Whether you're chasing goals, rebuilding from rock bottom, or just trying to stay consistent when no one is watching, this book is your companion. So I think it's perfect for you. I'll put it on your desk. That doesn't exist here.
It's okay. Put it anywhere. I'll find it. I'm reading 21 Days of Resilience, and it actually has been helpful. So if anybody's looking for some self-help books, 21 Days of Resilience, also a winner. Yes, Greg.
Yeah, Ray sent me a message the other day and said how much he appreciates the show and how, we've inspired him. And, he's a sheet metal worker in Chicago and writing has always been his passion. And, he kind of saw what we've kind of made of everything we do here and said it inspired him to kind of step out of his comfort zone and do something he always thought about doing, and wrote this book and wanted to share it with us. So appreciate you, Ray. Thank you for sending it. Can't wait to get my hands on it and see if I can get some wisdom into this, pretty stubborn mind over here. And but I appreciate you very much and everything that all the support you've shown to the program.
And we all, well, you can do it your own ways, but a sincere thank you from me around Thanksgiving to all the support that we get here, good, bad, indifferent. Anybody who's watched, who's liked, who's subscribed, who's been mad at us for people we've had on the show, have been grateful for everything else we've done, all of it. I sincerely thank everybody for the discourse that we have. Obviously our diehards, you guys are at the top of the list with people that I'm hanging out with in the Discord, and just the amount of feedback and passion around the team. It's a very unique space that we're in here, and I try to have a ton of fun with it, obviously, but I also try to respect it at the same time. So thank you for one and all for all the positivity, negativity, or whatever you want to call it in between. Thank you.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Absolutely. Try to enjoy your turkey as best you can.
I love Thanksgiving, buddy. I'm gonna crush it. And now I was supposed to go to Halas, but I guess that got moved up. So now I might actually join the crew. They're all going to see Wicked. I don't know if there's a ticket. I might go sneak into a movie theater a la Carman High School. I apologize for those days, but maybe I'll go see Wicked today. You guys seen Wicked? Wicked? No. Wicked 2? Wicked?
My wife saw it with Livy on Monday. She said it wasn't as good as the first one.
I'm out. All right. I'll watch whatever Hoge, text me those movies. I'll watch one of your depressing movies by myself. That sounds like a good play.
Yeah. It was Train Dreams.
Train Dreams.
It was the most depressing movie I've ever watched. It's one of those movies, though. Every year there's like 5 movies up for Best Picture in the Oscars, and you're like, I wouldn't watch any of those movies. It's that movie.
Would you guys let me? I'm sorry, Hoge. Would you guys let me go on a train cross country and just do the pod from the Amtrak across? No.
The first part, yes, we would let you go on a train wherever you want.
But not come on.
Yeah, well, it's Wi-Fi and internet issues, too big of a risk. But I will pay for wherever train ticket,
one way,
whatever train ticket, whatever trip you want to take. I actually will chip in and pay for it wherever you want to go.
Okay, Greg. Okay.
And maybe.
Don't worry, I got it. At some point, I will come back.
There's a bunch of people right now that are like buying sailboats and trying to sail across the Pacific Ocean.
I will buy the boat
all by themselves. It's actually really impressive, but I think you should do that, Carm.
Well, I thought about that one when I see these dudes out in the middle of the ocean and they're just doing content. And can you imagine what content I would put out for the middle of the ocean? Well,
you'd be rowing and Baldinger would be in the water.
There's Baldy.
While you're on the topic here on movies, Jenny and I watched a sci-fi movie called Watch the Skies on Amazon Prime last night. It's a sci-fi. It was really interesting. But the reason I bring it up is with artificial intelligence, man, it's crazy. Like we were watching it and it looked like it was dubbed, but it wasn't, because the way their mouths were moving was lining up with the English language they were talking. But like at times it wasn't synced up perfectly. Well, it turns out it is a Swedish film that they used AI to then dub it to make it line up. And this only goes, but the only reason I bring this up is because yesterday we had, on Bears Twitter, this guy that does video content from the games called Spider Visuals. And he's got this great video of it's like a Bears hype video.
I saw this. I actually saw this.
And the Bears song, did you listen to the Bears song that goes along with the video?
I mean, I watched the video, so I must have, unless I didn't have the volume up. I'm not sure.
You need to listen to it again, because at first you won't realize it's a Bears song, but it's like this real soul gospel bear down song. And if I'm wrong here, I completely apologize. But from what people are saying in the comments of it is actually an AI song. And that part of it blew my mind. I don't know, man. I know people feel a certain way about AI and how it's used and how it's overused and stuff. But between the movie we watched last night, which I thought it was helpful because it was, a Swedish film that I might not have watched otherwise, and then this, bear down hype video with this awesome song, But then I'm like, wait, a real person did not make this. I don't know. It kind of threw me off, and I just thought I'd finish this, and that's it. That's all I have.
All right, that was Greg's super chat.
You talked about movies. You know what? I'm tired of both of you two today. You talked about movies, Hoge. You're an idiot, Carm. I'm allowed to say stupid things at times too.
I made a reference in passing to a movie. I didn't.
You're the greatest.
Well, it tied back into the Bears with this song.
Everybody loved what you. Everyone
We
loved
need-
what you just said. No one listened, but everyone loved it.
Yeah, we need supers.
I hope both of you choke on your turkeys, and I hope they're dry.
Well, stick that
Well,
leg
don't-
down
hey,
your throat on Friday.
It's one thing you say you hope I choke on my turkey, but you went over the line saying you hope it's dry. That's messed up. All right.
Okay.
That Lou
Read the
Bear
supers.
down.
I gotta go. I got a dog downstairs that I'm taking care of that's barking.
Oh, God, that's my dream, right? You would think that's Carm's dream. That's actually my dream right there.
Let's go. Solo to Botswana. Let's go. I'm in.
Oh, man. Let's start.
If you're listening to the
GoFundMe, man.
podcast, Steven put together in 2 seconds a Photoshop of Carm on a sailboat in the middle of the ocean. Although there's land, he's too close to the land. Get him more out in the open water.
Yeah,
I'll get it
That's
right next time.
Yeah.
That's where I need to be. All right. Is there any super chats? Because we got to go.
You gotta go. But
Lou
yeah,
Bear,
we got
okay, you do
three
it.
super chats.
Lou Bear down $20. Meatball take. Been through the first game against the Lions. He used to call out his team and light a fire under their asses. No one could come down to the last game of the season, similar to Maddox versus Bagwell. That's a great reference on Maddox versus Bagwell, where he literally threw a home run ball so he could strike him out in the playoffs. That's a good. That's good. That's good. Greg Maddox, Jeff Bagwell knowledge. I don't think they threw that game, but you never know. He's Ben Johnson, the real Crystal. $20 to each of you at CHGO, the fans, and especially us diehards. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Enjoy your day tomorrow and bear down. I'm not eating tomorrow. Saving my appetite for some eagle meat on Friday. Okay, Crystal. I don't.
Different kind of bird.
You're not going to eat on Thanksgiving?
Don't blame her.
Good on
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving, Crystal.
Crystal, you're the best. We love you. Appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving. Bro Delicious, $5. The Lions do not play another game indoors until they play us week 18. We don't
Outdoors.
play
Outdoors.
anymore.
Outdoors.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Lions will play another outdoor game. I'm sorry. We don't play any more indoor games. Bear weather, bear down. Good underline in there, Bro Delicious. Who writes great songs? Who's a phenomenal diehard?
AI. Oh, sorry. See, I learned something from Greg.
Yeah.
AI writes great songs.
Robert Lee, happy Thanksgiving to you. Botswana is landlocked, Bro Delicious. How do you get there? Okay, I can't get there by sea. I bet you I could get on some ocean somewhere, hit some land and walk there. How's that, Bro Delicious? Caleb is better in the environment. Yeah. Donnie, you're the goat, Donnie. You're the real goat. And Braggs, you're the real goat of the tailgate, as Matt Peck said, and everything else in life, buddy. Without you, me and Hoge are nothing. Absolute dirt. We would never have figured out our lives until we met you, until you crawled out of the cockroach pit that you came out of. We didn't know anything.
I just want the world to know that 4 minutes ago in our private chat that the audience cannot see,
You gotta go.
Carm wrote, "Let's end this."
That's what he
That was
does.
4 minutes ago.
This is what he does.
All right, bye. Hey, we won't see you tomorrow. We'll see you Friday. Pregame at 1. Watch along at 2. Bears win at 5. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.